the average of the two middle numbers. My two middle numbers in my lower 50% of my data set is 10,450 and 11,600. So now I can get my lower quartile by taking the average of those two. Remember, your lower quartile or your first quartile is the average, or excuse me, is the median of the lower 50%. 10,450 plus 11,600. And I divide that by 2. My lower quartile is 11,025. 11,025. My lower quartile, again, is 11,025. All right? So we're going to do the same thing to find our upper quartile. Our upper quartile is going to be the median of the upper 50% of your data. Well, I have, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 numbers in my data set. So the two middle numbers are right here. Notice I have 2 below and 2 above. So my third quartile, again, is the median of the upper 50% of your data. So now I go back to my calculator, and I'm going to take the average of 16,200 plus 16,900, divide that by 2 to get my upper quartile, is 16,550. So your upper quartile, Q3, is 16,550. All right? So now I want to get my interquartile range, the last number in my measures of variation. Remember, your interquartile range you get by taking your upper quartile minus your lower quartile. All right, well, my upper quartile is 16,550 minus my lower quartile, 11,025. And then we go to our calculators, simple calculator application, 16,550 minus 11,025. My interquartile range is 5,525. My interquartile range is, again, 5,525. So now we have found all 6 values. We've found our max, min, our range, our lower and upper quartile, and our interquartile range. All right? I'm going to do another example. One more example before the end of class. Next, I'm going to give you a stem and leaf plot. All right, a stem and leaf plot. And what I'm going to do in example 2, and we talked about stem and leaf plots, I'm going to give you quiz scores. All right, quiz scores. All right, the quiz scores, stem and leaf, is going to look like the following. Hopefully these are representative of your quiz scores. 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, I had a 72, a 72, 74, 75. I had an 80 and an 88. I had a 92, 93, 94. Okay, bring that up a little bit. Again, this is your stem. These are your leaves. Okay, I have 92, 93, 94, 97, and then I had 200s. Let me make sure I got everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. All right. So I have my data set in a stem and leaf plot, and these are the quiz scores. And for every stem and leaf, and in every stem and leaf, you should be given a scale. So this is how the scale reads. A 7 and a dash and a 4 means a 74. Hopefully that makes sense. A quiz score of a 72, 72, 74, 75, 80, 88, 92, 93, 94, 97, and then we had two 100s. Two 100s. I mean, guess who those two 100s would probably be? Leave that for you all to think about. All right. Well, the nice thing about a stem and leaf plot is it's pretty easy to calculate the max. The maximum score is 100. Your minimum score, pretty easy on a stem and leaf, 72. And then the range, all right, so these three values are really easy. The max is 100, the minimum is 72, the range is going to be 100 minus 72. Nobody needs a calculator for that. The range is 28, okay? So there is our three values, max, min, and range. Now I want to start talking about the interquartile range, Q sub 3 and Q sub 1. But the first thing you need to do is find your median. Well, let's look here. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I had 12 numbers in my data set. It's an even number data set. Therefore, remember, the median is going to be the average of the two middle numbers. Okay? Does everybody understand that? So, if my total number is, my data set is 12, think to yourself, your middle two numbers means I'm going to have 5 numbers below and 5 numbers above. Pay attention. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does everybody understand that my two middle values are 88 and 92? 88 and 92. So hopefully everybody understands the median, since it's an even valued data set, is going to be the average of the 88 and the 92. Well, hopefully you can do that in your head. Average of an 88 and a 92, your median is 90. Okay, your median is 90. Okay? So my median is 90. So therefore, I need to separate. Your median separates what? Your data set in the lower and upper 50%. My lower 50% is going to be from 72 to 88. My upper 50% is going to be between 92 and 100. All right, 92 and 100. So that's going to allow us, now that I found my lower and upper 50%, that's going to allow us to find what? It's going to allow us to find the two things, the upper and the lower quartile. All right? So let's talk about our lower or first quartile. Our lower or first quartile, again, is what? The median of the lower 50%. Again, your lower or first quartile is the median of your lower 50% of your data. Well, we just said, everybody look up here, my lower 50% of my data falls between 72 and 88. How many numbers are in that lower 50%? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 numbers in that lower 50% of your data. So the median of my lower 50% is going to be the average of what? 74 and 75. Because since I have 6 numbers in the lower 50%, the median of that's going to be the average of the two middle numbers, 74 and 75. Well, you don't need a calculator to take the average of 74 and 75. You better understand that the lower quartile is 74.5. Okay? Now I'm ready to find my third quartile. Well, my third quartile is going to be, again, the median of the upper 50% of your data. Well, here's my upper 50% of my data. Okay? There's 6 numbers in that. So my upper quartile is going to be the average of the 2 middle numbers of my upper 50%, 94 and 97. Now that's a little more difficult than 74 and 75, so I'm going to be nice and say you're not bad to take 94 plus 97 on your calculators, and then divide that by 2 to get your upper quartile, which is 95.5 is your upper quartile. Okay? All right, so my upper quartile is 95.5. And now I'm ready to get my inner quartile range, which is 95.5 minus 74.5. You better not need a calculator for that. 5 minus 5 is 0. 95 minus 74 is what? 21. So my inner quartile range is 21. Okay? So let's summarize. The 3 scores that we're looking for, or excuse me, the 6 scores that we're looking for. Your max, your min. Your max and min, you need to get your range. Then you're going to find what? Your upper and lower quartiles. Your lower quartile is the median of the lower 50% of your data. Your upper quartile is the median of your upper 50% of your data. And then you take the difference between your upper and lower quartiles to get your inner quartile range. Now everybody look here. We did 2 examples. I did one example where you had an even number data set, and we found all 6 of these values. And then I gave you an example where we had an even number data set, and I showed you how to find all 6 of these values. This is going to be similar to the classwork that you're going to do next class period, where I'm going to give you data sets, and you're going to have to find these 6 values, i.e. measures of variation. The range, max minus the min. The inner quartile range, which is Q3 minus Q1. Okay? And then you can use your phones. I don't mind you using your phones to reference this YouTube video. Alright? Again, if you have any questions, email me, tbyers@westbrookconnecticutschools.org, or you have a great luxury of having Mrs. Wood here to assist you. Alright? That's the end of this lesson.